Hello everybody, and welcome to a bit of a different video today. Today I'm going to be painting up the Titan Princep that I actually picked up at Forge World Open Day. And I just thought, because I've not done a little speed painting video for a while, I thought I'd show you guys, what it was like to paint. And I'm going to have to apologise right now because the camera does go out of focus quite a bit, because my background is quite busy. I do try and rectify that in the future. In fact, I'm trying to rectify it now by scraping stuff away and moving my hand in the background. It was proper annoying, this one was. So basically what I did is started off with a base coat of light grey primer from Vallejo. Then I hit it with some Vallejo gun grey and basically just base coated the whole thing in that. This model was really nice to paint, I have to admit. It was just dead cool. It's really nice to actually just paint a single miniature for a change. So once the silver was on there, I hit it with a bit of scarlet red from Vallejo. I was using a Kalinsky, I think it was a Kalinsky sable hair brush, one that Moggy's Miniatures gave me. And this is a very nice brush. Probably not the best brush to use, but it was one of the first times I used it and I wanted to give it a go as well. So we started off by, we painted all of the robes and stuff red, and I was trying to fit this guy in with my Mechanicum stuff. Basically because I've got an idea that I want to kind of have some, what looks almost like civilian-ish Mechanicum stuff to be used, because I want to try and have chimeras in my army list. But in order to have that, I have to have like some veteran squad or some cheap Imperial Guard squads and whatnot. But in order to get a chimera, I need that to have those little squads. So these guys are going to represent it just because it'd be different, and it's something that I've not seen before. And there is a fucking ice cream van in the background that is going off as I'm trying to record video. Fuck it, the show must go on. Balls to it, guys, balls to it. Yeah, one of the things that I found about this Kalinsky sable brush as well, it was quite nice to paint. It holds a lot of paint in its reservoir, which is quite good. The only disadvantage was that I was painting this on probably one of the hottest days of the year, so it was kind of glooping up, and it was kind of drying as I was painting it, so probably not the best condition to paint. I know a lot of people have been having issues in the UK at the moment, especially if you have an attic room, which paint's just drying up and stuff. It's absolutely horrendous. So once I was leaving the red to dry, I started to hit up the flesh on his hand and on his face as well. Now, I think this is just with elf flesh or pale flesh by Vallejo, and I was just going over there, just giving it its initial coat. Had to go over it a couple of times because obviously over silver wasn't the best, and I know you guys are probably saying, Jojo man, why are you base coating stuff over silver? It's awful to do. And it's like, well, I can't be arsed really. I just paint it and then I just go in with the brush afterwards. After it was done with the flesh colours, I then went over and hit it with just some like a khaki brown colour on his boots, and I think I did this on some of his leather belting as well, if not with a different colour. But again, I wanted to have a bit of a contrast to the red, so the brown goes nice, and once you apply a wash over it, it works very well. So, after that, I decided to work on his little gun holster with a different colour brown. This is like more of like a tan, more of like a leather kind of colour, rather than a khaki. So I did his little belt that colour, as well as his holster for his little las pistol that he has. Now I like the fact that this guy does have a las pistol, and he's got a little power claw as well, so it looks like he could do pretty well in combat, but not so good at writing on his little clipboard. The pants and stuff underneath of him, I decided to do black, and that was to echo and mirror the Skitarii guys that I've done, because those guys have like a black, whatever it is, like black carapace kind of stuff, and then their red robes as well. So I wanted it to echo as much of my other Mechanicum as possible. God, my mouth is dry today, guys. I do apologise for this. All you're going to hear is me drinking on the video. So after I did all that, I decided to go in with some brass colour on the metal bit. I don't even know what that thing is he's got round his neck. Looks like some kind of rebreather / vox caster type thing. But I went with some brass on there just to change up the colours a little bit on there. And then that turned out pretty nice, because I know for a fact that when you put a wash over this, it comes out such a lovely colour. I was trying to hold it in such an awkward angle, guys, so I do apologise. I do go into a little bit of detail in that in just a second. But yeah, so I kind of went off camera for a little while here, and I don't know why. Hello? Come back? Aha, yes. As you can tell, I'm recording this all in post. So after that, it was time to do some of the other little detailings and things. Now, what I tend to do, on the worky bits, use the brass, and then on the detail and other worky bits, I use a bronze colour. Again, because it just melds really nicely with the silver and the brass, and it just looks very, very Mechanicum-like. After that, what was I doing? Oh, yeah, I went over the brass a little bit more, where it had kind of not gone on quite so as much as I wanted with the over the silver, so I decided to do that as well. You can't actually see on this, guys, but I actually, in order to get it on the camera better, I actually tried to mark where my hand was going to sit most of the time on the desk. You'll probably see that when I actually do the overview video. It's like a green line where I kind of rest my hand. It's proper crazy. So his little epaulets and his little shoulder tassels, I decided to go in with a red, just a brighter red, to try and differentiate that from his red Mechanicum robes that he's got on. And I wasn't too sure about it first, but once I went over it after I'd washed it, as you'll see in a second, guys, it kind of went a little bit more according to plan. Just doing some final touch-ups here on the scarlet red. Again, where it wasn't quite as red as I wanted, where you could still see some of the brush marks and some of the silver base coat showing through. Again, now was time to use some Games Workshop Agrax Earthshade to wash him, so I literally just liberally sprayed this through the airbrush all over him and got the model good and wet, and then left him for about an hour or so to dry. And it didn't take too long in this weather either. So once he was dry, he kind of looked like this, and yeah, really, really nice. That Agrax Earthshade is such a wonder wash. I kind of prefer it now more than the Devil and Mud, because it's just a little bit more pliable. So what I did, I used one of my old shitty brushes, and I actually went over some of the metal bits where it had just mucked it up and dulled it down a little bit too much. I had to dry brush over some of that just to pick out those details again. And then again, with the fine detail brush, going in, I did little wires and stuff on his head. And I really wish the camera wouldn't keep focusing on the background. I do apologise, guys. I apologise so much. A little bit of overbrushing there on his head again, because again, when I put the wash on it over the elf flesh, it kind of darkened it up a little bit too much. But it was okay, because I was going to hit this with a separate wash and then go over some of the purple bits, well, some of the more sore-looking bits with a purple wash, as you can see here. Makes it on his implants, on the wires that attach to his head, and the weird little hole that he's got in his head. I don't know, maybe it's a glory hole in his brain or something. I'm not entirely sure. So guys, we are very zoomed in at the moment, and that is because he's quite small and he's got a lot of detail. Focus had this issue when I was actually recording the paint job on him, which was really annoying, and I do apologise, guys. But in total, he's a very nice little miniature to paint. Very, very easy, very, very, I would say quick. Probably took me less than an hour to paint him up. And he's just a nice little addition to my Mechanicus, guys, or he's going to be anyway. The only things that were really tricky about this was actually holding it during the painting and filming it at the same time. Just because the angle I was at was all crunched up, and what I've done as well is I've kind of gone over some little extra details, as you see here, like some of the little dry brushed areas and some of the little tiny bits, because I physically couldn't hold it close enough so that I could see, let alone the camera. So that was it, really. He's going to make a lovely addition to my Mechanicus. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, favourite and subscribe, and also don't forget to share, because it helps the videos reach a wider audience when you share them, guys. Also don't forget to check out the Facebook link in the doobly-doo down below, and I will see you guys again. See you now, and goodbye.